Good evening, welcome to the latest episode of the Blue Army podcast. I'm here with Dale Story.
Hello.
Not the best of results today for the Holy Blues. 4-1 defeat on home soil to Warrington Town.
Very disappointing afternoon. It had such promise, didn't it, the game as well, in the build-up and looking at the tables, and then you had all the postponements today, and games would have gone into the playoffs if they'd won.
Yeah.
And that effectively is their game in hand, isn't it, on Scarborough? If you now look at the games played, it's just a very, very disappointing afternoon.
It is, and to think it did promise so much, you've already said, it was the game in hand. It was the ideal opportunity.
It was.
I believe Steve Kittrick's been here to watch today.
He was sat about 3 rows in front of me, yep.
Yeah, and I can't think that he'd be too impressed with what he's seen.
Probably be looking forward to their visit, won't he? Not their visit. I'm thinking Farsley's manager sat in front of me, not Steve. Yeah. Steve Kittrick, Scarborough. We spoke about this before the game, didn't we? No, we haven't got to play Scarborough again, have we? No, I don't think he will. It would have been happy because obviously Gainsborough haven't overtaken Scarborough. It was also a really good opportunity to close that gap on that top of the table because before today,
could have made it interesting, couldn't it?
Yeah,
Warrington's play.
They're now 10 points off top. Well, they were 10 points before the game, but Warrington have gone level with South Shields. I think they've overtaken them actually. I think they needed to win by 3, so they're top now, Warrington. But it would have closed the gap on those second, third, fourth that were all level on points today before the game started.
It makes it interesting.
Well, it does,
We talked before the game, didn't we? You were saying about our record against the top 6 hasn't been the best.
Top 5 games would be in the 6th. Yeah, it's 1 win in 7 now, which is that's the problem. The drop it because when you lose points against teams around you, it feels like more than 3 points.
It's 6-pointer.
Yeah, exactly. And then they also seem to have periods where they're dropping what I call silly points, like last week against Stafford Rangers. It was a tight game. I wasn't here, but apparently games didn't play too well.
No, we're really struggling on home soil at the moment.
Why?
Our home form's so good last season. We couldn't buy a win away from home. It's greatly in the away form favour at the moment. In Liam King's programme notes today, he's had a little comment about you don't want to be the lowest placed playoff team. At the moment, we'd take being the lowest playoff team because it'd mean we're in there. At the moment, it's not looking like we can get in there. But being the lowest points playoff team means away games. An away game in the first leg and a guaranteed away game in the second, should we get through.
Well, at the moment, that would be South it'd be South Shields away, wouldn't it? South Shields won every single home game, so you wouldn't want to be going there.
And normally it's a midweek game as well for a playoff.
Wow.
Semi-final.
It is.
So that's a long way to go on a Tuesday night.
You look at I know we shouldn't really be talking about getting in the playoffs, but you look at all the potential playoff opponents, you're not going to want to go away to any of them, really, are you? You're not going to want to.
Not on a Tuesday night.
No, not at all. I know that the away form's picked up.
Teams won't want to come to us. Should we be there?
That's why they need to be, getting higher up the table. But it's, I think it feels a long way off that, doesn't it, at the moment? And
it does.
And today was a great chance to
We've
close
had 2
that
opportunities gap. And passed up 2 opportunities at home.
And the home forms, it worries me. I looked it up earlier. They won 6 of the first 7 at home this season. I can't for the life of me remember who was the only team they didn't beat. It might have been Blythe in that cup game, thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then they've only won 2 of the last 10 since then. I mean, that's crazy. Like you said, the last 2 years since I've been watching them, the home form's been the first year, in my opinion, the main reason they stayed up. The second year I've watched them, the reason they had a chance, they took it as far as they did. But then you look at the away form. The away form's been outstanding, hasn't it, so far?
It has, and it coincides with that October turnaround, Liam King's injury, and Liam King being a massive miss.
Yeah.
And changing the formation slightly.
I think a lot of it's a formation change. I've said it many a time. I think away from home they're set up brilliantly.
Yeah, it's a brilliant setup.
But here,
we can't seem to get that balance.
And the one game they did play 4-4-2, scored 4 goals. Exactly. Yeah. I know they didn't play particularly. It was an odd game, that wasn't it, against Workington, but
it was. But
scored 4 goals.
Exactly.
They didn't look like scoring 4 goals today.
No, exactly. But Reeves' had a 30-minute cameo and he's got a goal. He brings that to the side.
He's one of them players. He's never really had a run in the team, has he, this season? But
no, that's why we had that embarrassment of riches up front, but at the same time, 3 very similar players.
Well, they started the season, didn't they, by rotating the front 3, and then Lee was quite happy
Ash
with...
plus 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then it tended to be Ash and Ross, isn't it?
yeah.
And fair enough, when they were doing really well. They were probably the better of the three, those two. I mean, Ash, you've got to keep Ash in the team. 16 goals, he's prolific at this level. But Damien Reeves is one of them strikers. You give him half a chance, he'll score. Like today's chance.
Also prolific.
Exactly.
Not the neatest, tidiest to finish, but they all count.
It doesn't matter. If you're right place, and he had a chance, didn't he, earlier on, which was all his own doing down the right, which the keeper did both save. So I thought he's probably Gainsborough man of the match today, wasn't he?
Yeah. It wasn't announced early. Simon Russell's not given up. He's got the shout from the sponsors.
Yeah, one thing I will say, I mean, sitting in the stands, Gainsborough were awful today, but they never stopped trying. I never felt they stopped trying. It just wasn't working. That might be me being over positive, maybe a little bit. But I felt that, my biggest bugbear watching a game of football, if your team's losing and they give up, I wouldn't say they gave up today. They just weren't very good.
No, it was just ultimately frustration. That's got to be the key word for today. Frustration. Frustration at the defence, not being able to cut crosses out, coming into the box, statuesque defending, which we've not been guilty of. In the main, Warrington didn't cause us problems. That sounds really bad. We've lost 4-1.
Well, you got me to do some stats, you said, didn't you? Gainsborough had more shots on target than Warrington. Warrington had 4 shots on target and scored. No, they didn't. They had 5 and scored 4. That was it.
Yeah.
I think there was one saved by John Stewart as well on half time. So, I agree with you.
Just been clinical.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a strange one because as bad as Gainsborough were, it probably wasn't a 4-1 loss kind of game. But then I suppose when we last spoke on here, Workington wasn't a 4-1 win kind of game, was it?
Yes. But you've just sort of argued with me about the entertainment rating. I wanted to give it a 3. I don't think Warrington really got out of second gear. But we struggled to get out of second gear as well. So really, I don't think it was that good a spectacle for a neutral point of view.
Well, I don't know, because
especially from a Trinity slant.
From a Trinity slant, it was awful. But games don't necessarily have to be full of quality to be entertaining. And I don't know, as a neutral, you've had 5 goals, you've had a red card, which we'll talk about in a sec.
We've had a watch back of it.
Yeah.
My gut reaction was not a red card.
This is where it comes from me and you sitting opposite sides of the ground, because my gut reaction was it was.
Yeah.
However, having seen it back, I don't know, really. It's a tough one to call that.
In the assistant referee's defence, Ben Gordon's got his arm up here.
Yeah.
Why has he got his arm up? Towards the shoulder, around that sort of area. Assistant referee's obviously seen his arm up. The next thing he's seen, the man hit the floor, Mitchell Duggan I think it was, has hit the floor and is writhing around in agony, appealing that he's been shot. A Warrington player's gone and got in the referee's face who hasn't seen it and has said, he's hit him. Watching it back. And at the time, I didn't think it was.
And if you've not seen it, watch Rob's commentary. Listen to it. It was brilliant, by the way. It's really good. I really enjoyed it.
I don't think Sam was really working on it.
No, it was really good. It was a proper... If you're a fan, that's what you want to hear. Genuinely, it's a bit of praise for you there, mate. You enjoy it. But no, from my view, and I was talking to the Robinson family about it, we're the other side of the ground, and I think we've bought into this. Arm was there. It looked like it was.
Yeah.
Seeing it on the camera, it was right in front of you, wasn't it? Yeah. We're the opposite side of the ground. I think you're right. The one argument I would say is that Ben Gordon has given the referee the opportunity. I always say this. You give the referee the opportunity, he'll take it sometimes, and that's what he did. But it's the player's reaction that's more got him the red, hasn't it?
But it did seem to be a little bit of that today. There was a lot of crowding around the officials from the Warrington players.
It's effective, though, isn't it? It's effective.
But it's
horrible.
Bordering on the line of.
This is what Jose Mourinho used to do at Chelsea years ago. He used to get all his players around the referee, and they won championships.
But there's meant to be directives from the FA that say you're not allowed to do that.
But then referees don't stop it. I think aren't they meant to book every player that comes and surrounds it, bar the captains?
Well, it's the first one, isn't it? You book the first one, and they don't do it.
But they don't.
No.
We've spoken about the officiating at this level this whole season.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. It's horrible to watch when played. It leaves a bitter taste, but it's annoyingly effective. And that's why teams do it. Loads of teams do it.
And I don't believe there can be the worst team that come here and do it.
No.
I've heard reports of another team that are due soon that are very good at it. The Dark Arts, as they're called.
Who are we talking about?
I can't really say.
No. I thought...
It's a Tuesday night coming soon.
Oh, right, well... I can't remember when we went there, but I might be wrong. But
no, but they weren't in as good a form back then. They hadn't played as many games. They've done the catch up.
I think the next 2 games are going to be very, very bitty kind of thing for Gainsborough. Not just niggly. Niggly's the word.
Yeah.
Buxton, when they came here, it was a horrible game to watch. It was probably not as bad as performances today, but it wasn't very good. And that's in my opinion, Rob. That's the main problem with Gainsborough is they're either really good or really poor. There's no
in between.
Win a game 2-1, but play.
You look at how many draws we've had. Have we really had that many draws? I know Lee's spoken about turning draws into wins, turning them that way. But I don't think we've had many where we've been 1-0, but we managed to sneak a point, if that makes sense.
There's probably been a couple. I think Stafford away, maybe, Marine, sticking in the head, just simply because they came to my head while we're talking. Yeah. But no, I know what you mean. They either win or lose, basically. I don't know how many they've drawn.
Yeah.
A few, not many.
We'll have to have a look into that.
What I did like, one positive to end, if you like, Leeson in his interview is it's very easy to say forget all about today. He's going to use it to motivate his players. Yeah. If you're a passionate footballer, which I think a lot of them are, that's perfect motivation. You probably don't need to say anything. Watch that video, look up, but you owe it to these fans. And Buxton next week, because I remember we were speaking before Christmas when Buxton had won here, which was pretty awful. We were worrying about Matlock.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping
we got that sort of reaction.
And I'm hoping that Buxton will be the same, because the next home game's another horrible one, isn't it, on paper?
But what we've got to hope, we've had 4 under-20s on the bench today. Very youthful bench. And Damien Reeves, we've already spoken about Damien Reeves. 4 very young players. Shows how much the squad is being stretched at the moment. Yeah. But you look and say, we get Liam King back, we get Alex Simmons back, we get Ross Hannah back, we get Harry Middleton back.
Yeah. Joe Maguire back from suspension.
He's got another game suspension.
Yeah.
That's 5 players, but we'll get into a lot of teams in the Evo Stick Northern Prem. And we're at the moment having to do without them. And 3 of those have been out since New Year's Day. And that's a massive miss for any team. So if we can get the players back fit and on the pitch.
I think Liam King's been a massive loss. Massive. I think he was one of the best players so far in the season. But I was speaking to the fans around me today. They were all wondering why these kids didn't get on, because the game was...
Yeah, I was calling for it at 3-0 after it had gone to 3-0. Yeah. You didn't really think you were going to get back into it. Even though it was still 40 minutes to play.
Yeah, no, they weren't, were they? It was game over. 3rd goal killed the game. Yeah. But to me, I think you've got to be careful, because with young kids, you bring them on, something like that, and it gets worse. It can really knock you worse than it would.
Yeah.
I can see why you wouldn't bring them on in that respect, but I also agree with you. I think it would have been nice to see a couple. Obviously, Reeves was going to come on, a couple more come on, but
we saw Ash McEwen, didn't we, for a little bit at Tamworth in another night to forget.
Oh gosh!
The FA Trophy.
We saw Jamie Cherry there as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
I forgot about that night.
Yeah. Oh dear. Sorry. Right.
I try and forget these things.
Let's think of something positive to finish on. Chocolate.
What about the incident with John Stewart after about 30 seconds then? Come on then, here's a moan for you. What?
Okay.
What?
Oliver Mackay. Is
that the ref?
That's the referee.
Right.
His first trip to officiate at a Gainsborough Trinity match. His name will last long in my memory.
Well, you were all pally with him before the game. Yeah, he was pally with the ref, by the way.
Yeah, sorry, it's my fault.
Yeah.
He did say to me, my first decision to play the game was the right one. Every other decision will be...
Right, he did, didn't he? Yeah, I heard that. And he was right.
Yeah. So, John Stewart, short sleeve goalkeeper top, green. Underneath it, he's got his black base layer. Yeah. He's allowed out of a tunnel, he's done the handshake, he's walked past the referee and the assistant referee, shook his hand before the game's about to start. No problem at all. He's going to take a goal kick. Can you go and take your underlayer off, please? It doesn't match the colour of your shirt.
Oh, is that why? I thought it was because it clashed with the referees.
Referee thought, hang on a minute, he looks like me.
No, but black and black, the shirt colours. I thought that's what he did it for.
But it's about that much black that you can see.
Yeah, but I thought that's the reason he did it. You think it's because it was different colour?
Well, base layer is meant to be the same as the shirt colour that you wear.
Obviously, I knew that.
Yeah, but the bit that gets me, socks aren't meant to clash. What were Warrington's sock colours? Blue and yellow stripes.
Blue and yellow stripes.
Trinity wearing blue socks.
Yeah.
So blue and yellow socks are okay and don't clash, but a black underlayer. So John Stewart, after how long? 3 minutes?
Not even that.
has to go off in the freezing cold.
He did, didn't he? Get his top off.
Get his top off, a bit of eye candy for the girls, and come back out in a short sleeve goalkeeper top, much to his own design. But yeah, and then it kind of unsettles you a little bit, doesn't it? And well, John Stewart didn't have a lot to do before that.
Yeah, I don't think it affected the game, but it
No.
was a bizarre incident, wasn't it? It was a bizarre one. But
Yeah.
Buxton next week, artificial pitch.
Yes.
Trinity usually do quite well on them, don't they? They won at Hyde.
Yep.
They won at Scarborough one.
Scarborough's one. Yep.
Scarborough.
2.
Um,
Harrogate. We've had good results against Harrogate.
Yeah, 1-2 at the last 3 at Harrogate. Tamworth.
Apart
Forget
from
the FA Trophy. All right.
Yeah.
League. Won
Yeah.
the last 2 in the league, didn't you? Oh, did you win last season?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So artificial pitches usually do quite well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be a more positive.
And show some bounce
And
back
we
ability.
owe Buxton, by the way, as well. So
We owe, but
we owe Buxton because
We
it was
do.
a horrible game here back in
so
November.
to frustration to bounce back ability. Let's stop this. Let's go home. There's enough that's gone on today, but yeah, away from football. Add it with football. The 2nd of February 2019, a day to forget. Thanks, Dale.
Thanks, Rob. Bye.